Hello, class 11th student. Today I'm going to start chapter 8 from your book Statistic for Economics. Topic is arithmetic line graph or time series graph. This is part 1, and in this part only we are going to cover up this chapter. Okay? So first of all, what do you mean by arithmetic line graph or time series graph? So in this graph, time yani time that we represent in hour, day, date, week, month, year, these are plotted along x-axis and the corresponding value of the variable along the y-axis. So this is known as a arithmetic line graph or time series graph. Okay, now it is of two type, one variable graph and two or more variable graph. The first of all, one variable graph. One variable graph are those graph in which value of only one variable are shown with the respect of the some time period. Okay, graphic presentation of the production of a factory between the month of January to June is the example of one variable graph. So here you can see in this illustration that production is given in quintal from January to June. So we are going to represent this month on O axis and this value on OY axis. So in this way, this will be time series graph, yeah, arithmetic line graph. Okay, now how we are going to draw it? So first of all, indicate time period on O axis and production on OY axis. Okay, mark different points on the graph indicating value of the production corresponding to the different month and join these points on a graph showing the behavior of production over the time, and in this way you are able to construct a time series graph. For example, heading is given, your title is given monthly production of a factory. We know that time is always represented on O axis, so here also these months are represented on O axis, and production that is given in quintal, it is represented on OY axis. When we are going to plot all these value, we are going to get this line. Okay, and this is known as a time series graph. Now two are more than two variable graph. So in one variable there we are going to represent only one characteristic, but when we are going to discuss two or more, there will be two are more than two variables and they are represented simultaneously, yani together. So this type of graph uh, is known as a time series graph. Okay, so data on the production and sale of the factory in different month would be make two variable graph. So for example, with the in the same table we are going to add one more thing, sales. So production is given. Okay, now sales also given according to these month. So now it is two variable graph. Okay, so same way, first of all we are going to write the title. On the O axis we are going to represent the month because the time is always represented on O axis in the time series graph, and the production and sell both we are going to represent on OY axis. Okay, making the difference, production is represented with the red line and sell is represented with the broken line that is of green color. So in this way it is clearly that keep production and sell it is given. Okay, now general rules for constructing diagram are graph. First of all, proper size. Graph should not be too much long or too much small. It should be in appropriate amount, yeah, size. Okay, proper heading, so there should be heading. Okay, now next, proper scaling. If you are going to represent too much items, then you can take small scaling, but if there are few items you can take broader. Okay, use of sign and colors to make the differentiation when we are drawing two or three or more than variables together. Okay, less use of words and figure. So we should use less word and figure because if we are going to make the use of figure and data more, so it become complex. And what is our aim? To make things more simple and more representable. Drawing the border. Diagram or graph must be bordered with the bold line to make them attractive. Simple, so obviously simplicity. We should keep in the mind that it should be simple, it is not going to be very complex. From left to right and bottom to top. Okay, like here on O axis, we are going to draw from left to right, and on OY axis from bottom to top. That is written here. Now, a statement of the data. Data which constitute the basis of diagram and graph should be clearly stated. Attractive and effective. It is very, very important thing when we are going to represent any data on the graph paper. Okay, it should be simple, attractive and effective, and for that we can use different color of pencil, different color uh, pencil, different type of line. Okay, there should be proper size, there should be proper scaling. Okay, so these things create long lasting effect. Okay, student. Now, what are the merit of diagrammatic presentation and graphic presentation? So first of all, simple and understandable. Actually, to understand the textual presentation, we should go through the whole line. But when we are talking about the diagrammatic and graphic representation, so it is very simple to understand. In one glance, we can understand a lot of things. For example, your and there is very advertisement, yeah, at the time of exit poll they show these time series graph, yeah, graphical representation to make things very attractive like pie diagram. Okay, lasting effect, no doubt graphic representation give, yeah, diagrammatic presentation gives last long effect. Okay, no need to training or specialized knowledge to draw or to understand. There is no requirement to have a specialized knowledge. Now, attractive and effective mean of presentation, no doubt it is having more effective and more attractive way to represent the data. A quick comparative glance, we can very easily compare, we can make very easily compare with the diagrammatic presentation. Okay, informative and entertaining, obviously it is more informative and more entertaining. The beginners are just fascinated to draw the picture in the form of diagram and graphs. Location of average. Okay, we can find, we are able to find mode and median with the help of the graphic representation. A study of correlation like Lorentz curve. If we want to know there is a high degree of correlation, low degree of correlation, perfect correlation, so we can use Lorentz curve that is represented graphically. Okay, now what are the limitation of the diagrammatic or graphic presentation? First of all, limited use. Okay, we cannot use when there are too much data are given, so it become very complicated to understand. So graphs are used only when it is given on the favor of time. Okay, the time series graph having very limited use. Misuse, if false production is done, then there will be problem of misuse like advertisement will do. Only preliminary conclusion. Okay, we can't understand very minor and very intensive thing, it give only surface information. Okay, so that is given here. So these are the limitation of graphic representation. Okay, thank you for this chapter.